Channel. You're with Marcus Heywood. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you, man?
I'm great. I'm feeling great. Feeling good about myself. Feeling good overall.
So, did you just start a new job recently?
Yeah. So I've just started working for Harper Construction. Johnny Harper, great crew there. So yeah, just started building there again.
Okay.
And yeah, he's a great boss. He's flexible for training and things like that. So really works well.
Awesome. So whereabouts are you based, Marcus?
I'm based on the Hibiscus Coast, so all the way out on the peninsula of Gulf Harbour. So yeah, right out there, Orewa, Pongaproa area.
Okay. So how long does it take you to get to Auckland City? Like a couple hours?
Well, on a good day, it'll take 15, 20 minutes. Or sorry, it's a bit of a lie, maybe half an hour. But with traffic these days, it's a nightmare.
Okay. And do you do your train? So you're training with Chris Martin, right?
Yep, the man, the legend himself, Chris Martin.
Okay, so you come all the way to Redline for the training?
Yeah, so we will train depending on what particular type of training we're going to do. We train at King's Academy. I do technical classes there on Mondays and Wednesdays. We will go to Shane Cameron's gym from time to time as well, and also sparring mostly for Redline. So we go Redline on Saturdays for sparring. There's a great group of guys there, and we're all trying to help each other out, so that's good.
Obviously, as a fighter, you want to stay as active as you can, but now, we're living in crazy times with the pandemics and with the lockdowns. How has that affected your boxing career? Have you taken a bit of, have you stopped for a bit?
No, there's been no stopping. We've trained all the way through lockdown. If anything, used lockdown as a chance to really push things forward another level. Find another gear, and I've just been at home. I've set up my own little home gym here and run and do all that. So
yeah, because you stay pretty busy. I mean, you fought already twice this year.
Yeah.
And your third one's happening on the 13th of November.
Yeah.
So
COVID obviously put a bit of a halt to everything, but I guess it's all right because all of us have had to stop. It's not like some of us are missing out and others aren't. We've all had to take this on the chin, so it is what it is. But hopefully, you're going to close the year out with a massive one.
Yeah, did you maybe in some sense enjoy sort of some of the rest, like just let your body because I know you've been pushing yourself through the paces, but was it kind of nice to settle down just for a little bit maybe?
Yeah, definitely 100%. And was good, being locked in the house with family. It's good to take some time and spend that with family and that. So there's always blessings in disguise, I guess you could say. But I'm super keen to get back on track now and kick this fight night off.
How long have you been working with Chris Martin for?
Just over a year now. So closing down at the end of this year will be 2 years. So I met Chris at the start of 2019. Actually at the end of 2019, and then started training with him just before I fought Gunner. So I was originally a kickboxer fighting under dynamic martial arts, and found Chris. He helped me out a bit for the Gunner fight just before that, and I've been hit it off. So I've stayed with him ever since then, and we've been training hard and working away, trying to undo all the kickboxing techniques and convert them over to boxing. So
you started off as a kickboxer, is that right? Yeah. Okay, and you were a champion, right, as a kickboxer?
Yeah, four-time New Zealand champion, Polynesian. I won the WKA 75 kg Polynesian title, and then I also went to South Korea and fought for the Intercontinental title. So, along with 2 other New Zealand national titles. So yeah.
Yeah, the WKA Polynesian champion, right?
Yeah, won that fourth round knockout in Tahiti.
Wow. So is there any reason why you sort of do you still do kickboxing, or are you now sort of solely concentrating on boxing?
At the moment, just solely concentrating on boxing. I believe I'm more of a natural boxer. I sort of taught myself to kick as opposed to the punching and the bobbing and weaving, which came naturally. So I think it was a matter of time before I found boxing and fell in love with it. But I'm always open to, if something pops up, I'll jump on it. I haven't, lost any of the skill from kickboxing. So, keep an open mind.
You mentioned the Gunnar Jackson fight. I mean, you fought him on your debut.
Yeah.
What was that experience like fighting, such an experienced fighter on your debut?
Oh, hey man, it was so awesome. I learned a lot about myself through that fight. So with kickboxing a lot, I had 40 plus kickboxing fights, and I developed a bit of a style, and I was quite the aggressor, and would talk to my opponents while I'm fighting, and mess with the head a little bit. But I stepped in the ring with Gunnar, and he actually in turn put that pressure on me. And I was blown away. It was interesting to be on the receiving end of that, and so it was a great experience, great learning curve for me. Probably not the wisest idea to do it on your boxing debut, but I believe that if you want to be the best, you got to fight the best. So
yeah, that's it. Just shows the amount of courage you have, and you're sort of willing to step in there with anyone. So
for sure, 100%. I didn't come into the fight game to pick and choose, and I'm here to fight because I love to fight. So it doesn't matter who it is. You put someone in there, I'm gonna give it everything and go for gold.
How did that fight go? Because, it was quite close, right, on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah. Well, I believe I could have possibly maybe have been given a split decision loss, but they ruled it unanimous, which I don't think it was complete unanimous. I believe I won second round, maybe third round as well, and the fourth round was probably the iffy one that I probably let it go. But I've got the video here from Combat TV, and I watch it from time to time, and proud to say that I managed to wobble him in the second round, got his legs buckled a little bit, so I take that small win and keep on keeping on.
Which I don't think I've ever seen him get wobbled, so that's pretty impressive in itself, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chris is saying, because Chris has been in the boxing scene his whole life. He knows and has seen Gunnar fight countless times, and he was blown away that I managed to wobble him, But unfortunately, at the time, didn't have the experience to really capitalize on that. And with Gunnar, he's so experienced, he knew exactly what to do, and he covered it up quite well. I didn't actually notice until I watched the video after.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your resume now. I mean, the next fight he had was with Jesse Nikora, and he has quite an extensive amateur background. And that's and you fought him twice. I mean, so how did those fights go?
The first one went great. That was, like you say, it was off the back of the Gunnar fight. So I learned a lot through the fight with Gunnar, and I employed those techniques that I learned for Jesse and managed to pull off an easy 4-round win. The second fight, though, credit to Jesse, he obviously switched his game plan up, and he came with a different plan, and the second fight was a little bit closer, but still managed to pull it away. Probably wasn't 100% my best performance. It was first fight out of COVID, so there was a bit of rust to shake off, but got the win, so that's all that matters, I guess.
and the next one, Jerome Pascua. Now that's that's a tough fighter, very experienced. He's been in the ring with Andrei. How did that one go? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you probably won't. It's a night that me and Chris, we don't like to talk about. I don't know what was happening that night. I didn't perform at all. I didn't do anything that I was taught. I just had a really bad night. It was probably due to not the best build up in camp, but hit and miss with the training. So that's a night that I like to try and forget. But I'd be definitely hunting for a rematch after this fight with Andrei. I've got to avenge that loss. I can't fight Gunnar because he's obviously retired. So got to come for Jerome after that. I gotta rewrite that one.
Look, I don't mean to go. Just the next one was Shay. Tell me about Shay Brock. That guy's. I mean, he's fought some of the best. You know, he's fought overseas. He's fought Bowyn Morgan.
Yeah.
How was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Again, just if you want to be the best, you've got to get in there with the best. And that fight was again another that awesome learning curve for me. You know, I look at these opportunities, and most people say, oh, you know, you're out of your depth, or you know, you're in over your head, so to speak. But for me, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to prove those people wrong, and also prove to myself, teach myself, and learn from these guys. You know, like you say, Shay, Gunnar, been around for yonks. You know, they've fought everybody, so.
Yeah.
You know, if I can get a chance to fight these guys, you know, it just benefits me as well. I learn so much from every fight.
Yeah, I mean,
split decision draw.
Very popular in the New Zealand boxing scene, obviously, you know. So these are all tough fights you're taking on, man.
Yeah.
And I guess the big one just around the corner is Andrei Mikhailovich. So just before we get into that, what do you know about Andrei? Like, have you watched much, you know, interviews of his, or what do you know about him?
Yeah, so well, obviously, you know, I'm a big fan of boxing and boxing New Zealand. So I've been following him ever since he started, pretty much. You know, watching all his fights, and you know, he's doing really well for himself. That's you know, I can't say anything bad. You know, he's obviously training hard, and he's making a name for himself. So, but I want to come and knock him off that pedestal. You know.
Yeah, like talk about the fight. So, like, how do you envision this fight going? Because obviously, you know, he's quite a tough technical boxer. I mean, how do you assess? Do you think this fight would be one of your hardest fights that you've had?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, Gunnar fight and the Shay fight, they were tough, but I mean, both guys were kind of coming back out of a layoff, you could say. You know, so they might have had a bit of ring rust. Whereas Andrei has been active and fighting and training non-stop, so he's going to be fit, strong. And what a lot of people don't know is that me and Andrei have actually sparred each other a few times at Shane Cameron's gym. So we've had a feel for each other, and we've had a few good dust ups in the sparring scene. So I think we both know that this fight's going to be huge for the both of us. We both know that neither of us are going to back down in any way, shape, or form. You know, I'm sure he's studied my style, you know, in and out, just as I have for him. And you know, I believe I know where the holes are. Just gotta get in there and do it.
Yeah, you know, Andrei, he's quite a, you know, he's had a tough life. Like, you know, he's adopted, and you know, he has a hard story, and he's very interesting. Like, he also has like a personality, like an on-camera personality, which is kind of different to what's he like behind the scenes. Which side of Andrei have you met?
To be honest, all sides. You know, I've shared the ring with him before, and he was nothing but respectful in that sense. But at the same time, you know, when we're sparring, you know, he brings that attitude and that you know, that, like you say, that on camera bravado. But I mean, that's all part of the game. You know, me myself, probably not so much. Not so much. How do you word it? Yeah, I don't know. I probably don't come across that same way, but you know, it's all part of the show. You know, you got to entertain. You know, we're in the entertainment business, so I can't knock him for that sort of stuff. You know, people might say he's a bit egotistical and that, but hey, we all are. We're all fighters. We're all confident in ourselves, and we all back ourselves. So yeah, it's good to see.
Is the game plan, like, obviously you can't disclose the game plan, but what can you tell us about us? Because obviously he might egg you on, like he might do the trash talking in the ring. Is it the game plan no matter what, or what's the strategy going into this?
Well, you know, like he has had a lot of fights, and they're all posted online everywhere. So, you know, I've had plenty of time to sit and study. And like you say, we don't want to give too much away, but probably I think the best tool to beat Andrei, if anyone wanted to beat, would just be foot movement. I watch a lot of his fights, and a lot of the opponents, they tend to sit still, and they allow him to tee off and allow him to throw his big shots. And he does hit hard. So if you give him that opportunity and you sit there like a duck, you're going to get shot. So I think the key to beating Andrei is movement. I don't think he will like it too much if somebody's constantly moving. He likes to set, push someone to the corner, set, and throw the big shots. So if I can keep moving, then I think it's going to throw him off. He won't be able to land those big shots.
Like how many rounds is the fight?
I believe it's 8 rounds.
Okay, 8 rounds. Okay.
Yes, not 100% sure on that. It might be 10, but I believe it's 8 rounds so far. Yes.
Do you have a preference?
No preference. I don't think the 2 rounds will matter for much in the end. When you're 8 rounds deep, I guess it's a dogfight at that point, regardless. So it'll just be whoever wants it more, who's got more heart, more determination. So yeah.
So how did this fight come about? So there's P3. I think it's a new promoter in the game. So how did this all happen? It's on Sky TV. Can you tell us a bit about how it all came about?
Full credit to Andrei and his team. Obviously with COVID coming, he's had a bit of a shortage of opponents, or unable to travel too much and reach out to other places. So I guess he's been rummaging around the middleweight division in New Zealand, and my name keeps popping up. So he actually had been calling me out a couple of times and had offered me the fight a few times, but me and Chris we don't want to jump into a huge fight like that straight away. So we did a bit of negotiating, and we both came to some terms that we thought would both suit us, and so here we are now. So yeah, they were definitely hunting for the fight. They wanted the fight. Preferably, I wouldn't have mind maybe having 2 or 3 fights before this one, but hey, that is what it is. I'm young, I'm fit, I'm in my prime, so what better time than now?
As you get past Andrei, I mean, what's next? Do you still want to fight like local? Like I think John Parker's entering the scene. Is there anyone you want to fight like after Andrei?
Yeah, in terms of moving up, I would love to fight the likes of Bowyn Morgan, or anything, any top challenger at the moment. If we're gonna get through Andrei, I'll just be scalp hunting after that. And but definitely Jerome Pascua. It's definitely one fight that I have to avenge before I retire, because bad night in the office. But I'm not too sure. That's a good question. Maybe even there's Francis Waitai. He's coming up now. He's 3-0. He's just picked up the super middleweight championship against Chase Haley, I believe. So he's coming up now as well. So, but it just depends for me. Obviously this fight's super welterweight or super middleweight, light middleweight, if you will. So I'm still trying to find my weight class, so to speak. Because I don't think I'm naturally a middleweight. I think maybe naturally super welter. So figure that out, and then move forward from there. But at the moment, all focus is solely on the 13th of November.
But where would you like to take it? Like, would you like to take it all the way? Like to like what dreams sort of do you envision in boxing that you would like to accomplish?
100%. I am fixated on creating a legacy, so to speak. I want to be remembered. I want to put my name down in New Zealand boxing history, and I want to be remembered for that. So the only way I can do that is if I go all the way with it, go right to the top, and form a legacy. So definitely 100%. I want to go all the way. I want to eventually stop swinging the hammer and just focus 100% on being a boxer. I believe I've got what it takes. I've got the skill, the determination, and just got to put it all to work.
Look, you with several weigh-ins. You got the right body type. You got the right look, and plus Andrei was another guy who was sort of on the same, like this
Yeah.
does have a certain appeal. Like it's two strong fighters as well in there. That I don't think I've ever seen you in an easy fight. I've always seen you in tough fights, man. Like so to be honest, like as a fan, I'm really keen on seeing how this fight unfolds because it's going to be really telling, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's I've had a lot of messages from people and fight fans that are obviously stoked that this is finally happening. And I know before it was organized that Isaac Savage, a couple of other guys I know were really pushing for it, and they were they really wanted to see it. And I think we all know that it's styles make fights, and I think the two of us together, it's going to make one hell of a fight. You bring his attitude and boxing skill, and then bring me into it. I think it's gonna be fireworks.
Now I'm keen to see what you and Chris Martin have come up with, and just the way to to maybe take away the O from Andrei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. Just before we wrap up, just you mentioned Bowyn Morgan. Bowyn's he's got a good fight with Tszyu. How do you see that? What's your prediction on that one?
That's. I think it's going to be. Without a doubt, it's going to be Bowyn's hardest test. But I'm super stoked for him, man. I mean, that's like Tszyu is huge right now. He's up there, and his dad, he's a Hall of Famer, and for Bowyn to land a fight like this is just what's the word? It's
inspirational.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's inspirational to know that if I keep pushing, then I too could sign a fight like that. And for me, what Bowyn's doing is he is forging his legacy, and he's doing things that other Kiwis won't and haven't done. So it's going to be a tough fight. But I'm going for him. I'll always go for the Kiwi, back the Kiwi. He's got his work cut out for him, but it's boxing, man. It's one punch and it could all be over. So he's got just as much chance as Tszyu.
And if he gets a win, I mean that's gonna be phenomenal, right? That's it.
That's huge. That where he's at right now is where I want to be. So that's why I would say, obviously not sure if the fight with Bowyn would interest him at all. Me fighting him if I beat Andrei, I'm not sure if he'd be interested in that after the payday that he's going to get from Tszyu. But I know that Bowyn's the next big thing for New Zealand, so he would be the next target for me.
And just one more, Junior Fa, Joseph Parker. Obviously, it's a lot of interest in that fight because given their amateur rivalry that they've had, they've fought each other 4 times, they won twice. Joseph is a superstar. He's been in there with all of them. He's defended his belt twice. How do you see, are you interested in that fight, and who do you see winning?
Yeah, 100% interested. Like I said earlier, I love boxing with and especially when it's in our backyard, New Zealand boxing. I'm supported 100%. I'm super excited for it. I think Joseph might have the slight edge now that he has gone all the way to the top. He's been a world champ. He has fought the top 5, or a few of the top 5 contenders. So there's a lot of experience in that. If there's anything I can learn from my boxing, just fighting guys that are a bit more experienced than myself, that how much you learn from those fights. So I think Parker might have the slight edge in that sense, that he has had that experience, and Junior Fa is just starting to break into that scene now. So, but I mean, it's going to be a good fight. Who do I think is going to win?
And how?
It's so hard to predict the boxing. I mean, if we're going to look at it on paper, I'd say Parker might possibly take this one out. Probably go all full rounds. But on paper, I'd say Parker might take this out. But I mean, it's boxing, and all Junior needs to do is get that one good punch, and it might change the things. So you never know. I don't like to make predictions, I can make generalized assumptions, but you never know.
Yeah, because
count anybody out.
Sometimes these fights just bring out the best in you, right? I mean, it brings out things that you never thought you had inside, and sometimes under those lights, we could see something from Junior that could just shock us all. Like maybe he's not being tested for a while. You know?
Yeah, I mean, just like for me, if I beat Andrei, you know, it's going to catapult me forward in the scene, and for Junior, if he takes this scalp, then you know that's going to push him up to, you know, what, top 10 in the world. I think Parker's.
Yeah. So if either of these win, they a mandatory. I think they move to number 2 in the WBO ranking. So after this fight, potentially after one more fight, they'll be up for the world belt, so the WBO. So they're very close. So either one of these, our Kiwis, might be a WBO champion, and if Parker gets it, he'll be a two-time world champion.
Yeah, which is what that's New Zealand history, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not been done. I mean, he's the first one to get it, and if he gets it twice, yeah, it's
he's
amazing.
Making history. He's forging a legacy. You know, that's what I want to do. Is I want to do exactly what he's done. You know. I look up to fighters like that, and you know, so fights like this are great for us, great for New Zealand boxing. It's great to showcase, you know, 2 of our best heavyweights and show the world what we've got and what we're capable of.
You know, when you say New Zealand boxing, like you really mean it, right? Like you've got New Zealand tattooed on your ribs, right? I do,
yes. Just here.
Yeah, like you really mean it, eh? Like you're not.
Yeah. I absolutely love this country, man. I think we are so blessed to be living in a country like this, and to out of the mass population in the world, to be, you know, lucky enough to be born and raised here. Is, you know, I'll forever be grateful for that. So yeah, I love my country, and yeah, I want to make history.
Physically, you look good. How's the mental game like going into this fight? Is everything in tune?
Yeah, things definitely this time around we've taken things a lot more seriously. Obviously, you know, we've got Andrei. He's a assassinator. You know, he's obviously out to kill. So you know, I don't want to be here just to participate. You know, I want to win. So you know, we're training hard, mentally prepared. Everything, the diet, you know, all of that, everything is on form this time. There'll be no excuses. You know, they're not like the Jerome fight. You know, the build-up's been great, so no excuses come 13th of November.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited, and I guess we're gonna thank you for putting on such a competitive fight. You know, as a fan, you know, the winners are us. Really, we get to see high-level competition. So thank you, and all the best.
You don't have to thank me, man. I do this for the love of the sport and the love of my country, and you know, so it's my pleasure. And thank you very much for the interview. I'm a big GladrapChannel fan, have been subscribed ever since day one, and yeah, I'm super stoked to now be on the show, you know. So,
yeah, and awesome. looking forward to some more interviews as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, we have to have one after I beat Andrei.
Yeah, definitely. Post-fight interview, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much. Thanks for your time, man.
Yes, Gladrap.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching.